JJ here, John Johnson if you don't know. I'm doing a real quick video about a couple of different things just to show that I'm always up here. I'm always working things up in here, always learning, comprehending, right? Also, always doing a little bit of something here and there. I haven't been super busy. It's just time and money, you know, as it permits with this new notorious real hobby of mine that I love so much and have some passion in. I have quite a bit of passion put into it, actually. Anyways, real quick, I wanted to go over sleeping medicine, stay awake medicine. My bad. Stay awake medicine. Shinobi or ninja, stay awake medicine. Medicine to keep you awake. So this is something that you use. You're on the outskirts of a province and you're stuck in wilderness, but you still need to stay there. You cannot go back. You need to have another couple nights to acquire a bit more information, whatever it is. But you cannot fully fall asleep. Maybe there are enemy shinobi or scouts around, and you cannot take the risk of fully passing out, snoring in a deep slumber. Or you might be killed, found, etc. Right? You need to keep your wits about you for other scouts. Maybe you're a scout keeping track of enemy scouts. Same reason. Whatever the reason that you do not want to fall asleep, here is one method. But before I go into it, I want to duly recommend. I must double note here that do not try this. Do not attempt this at home, and seriously, for real, okay? We know now in the modern age and era of our medical expertise that mercury is highly toxic and poisonous. It's cancer causing, okay? So nobody go out and try this. Don't start going and drinking mercury and pouring mercury into your belly button, okay? Alright, so now that I've done and said that, again, this is to keep you awake, but I really wanted to think about how and why this is going to keep you awake. The only thing I can think of is mercury being cold, okay? It says in old shinobi manuals to take a seashell, and this is another reason I'm doing this video, is because I've just acquired a seashell. A simple seashell. Now if you notice, even on a hot day, today is 100 and something degree day, seashells are cold. They always have a nice cool touch to them. Nice and cool. I'm thinking that maybe, this is just my wild best guess, is that when you pour mercury into the seashell and you put it onto your belly button, it would be the extreme cold, the discomfort of cold onto your belly that's keeping you awake. Anybody else have any kind of chemical, more chemistry, more of a chemistry analysis to it for me? Science gurus out there, help me out. Again, seashell, mercury. You pour mercury into a seashell, and it says, so here you are, you have your bit of mercury, uncork it, you pour just a tiny bit of mercury inside the seashell, and you don't spill it, but what you do with it, again, like I just previously mentioned, is you put it on your belly button, okay? So you place this onto your belly button, like so, and supposedly now you can rest peacefully without fully falling asleep. You don't have, this will prevent you from falling into a giant deep slumber, but you're still able to lay down, chill, relax. Let's just keep an ear out for those scouts. Hopefully they don't find me. When you're done, pour out the mercury, put the shell back in your pocket, and you're ready to go. So this is one thing that I've read about to keep you awake even though you might be tired. Again, don't try this though because mercury's poison, but I just figured I'd display that, you know, because I cannot really do it, but at least act it out for you guys to understand and get the gist of. And there's that. Seashell, a little bit of mercury, pour it in the seashell, put it on your belly button. And again, my best guess is that it's cold on your belly. So, but that's my guess. I'm not very positive on that. Again, I would like a little bit more input and a little bit more chit chat and for that to be brought up. So yeah, let's carry on. My most current adventure was to make a PVC Yumi, or bow, a samurai archery bow. Now, I did follow a couple of videos. I got the idea. It's not my idea. You know, I didn't come up with, all right, use PVC. I've made PVC bows before and stuff like that, but I didn't really use heat guns and form them. I had to visit this gentleman's channel to give this guy a shout out. He really helped me out in making my PVC Yumi. Again, this is his YouTube channel name. I'm gonna go ahead and put his video links in the description box of this video here, so that way if you're interested in making a PVC Yumi like this, you know, follow his three-part video tutorial on how to make a PVC Yumi. And if you do it right, it'll turn out better than what I came out with. I kind of messed up the curves. I'm gonna do another one. I have some more PVC out there, and I'm gonna be making another couple of these to always have around. It's very cheap for those of you in Notori Ryu. You know, this is if you don't have a lot of money to go buy a full-on Yumi from Japan and or just a Yumi at all off the internet. You know, I mean, they're very expensive. Last time, the cheapest one I found was about $80-something, and it was a very weak poundage. It was just, I didn't even want to buy it. I ended up creating something. I ended up using a piece of PVC for like what, $3. A heat gun, they cost you $15, and I can make endless amounts of these as long as you finally figure out how to do it. Again, I have to make a couple more. My curvature turned out a little funky. I'm gonna unstring it here. So as you can see, I have, you know, this is too bent in now. This used to be straight like this. Now it's, you know, because I've bent it, because I've strung it up, it holds this curve now. But nonetheless, bada bing, bada boom. I'm simply using 550 paracord as my bowstring without having to spend a fortune. Again, for you Notori Ryu guys out there, you know, this is a really, really cheap and quick option to mess with, you know, to get dirty and stuff like that before you go and start spending a lot of money on real Yumis, or for that matter, taking up the project of making your own Yumi with 1,000 pegs, leather strapping, and 2 tons of glue and whatnot. I do plan on making one of those, but again, that comes down to time and money. That's a lot of time. I need to have a whole weekend set aside for that, even more so. And money. Like, to buy that much bamboo is expensive. I need at least 10 poles of this thickness timber bamboo. That's going to cost me a good, just over 100 just for the bamboo. So, yeah. Cheap alternative, PVC Yumi. See the guys, see the gentleman's videos that I learned from, that I got the idea from and I followed. I just ended up making mine a little bit too archy, like the curves I made a little too sharp and stuff like that again. Making more, etc. I'm going to go ahead and shoot this off a little bit now though, to give you guys a little tiny demonstration. But what I've also been making, let me set the bow down real quick. What I've also been I made this a while ago for my Notori Ryu first Notori Ryu seminar, but nobody showed up for it, which I was kind of pissed about. But nonetheless, I'm not crying about it. I'm planning another one for future in like toward the end of this summer. It's probably going to be like before the end of August. I should start advertising for it now. So if anyone's seeing this video, give me a heads up. Let me know that you're interested in coming to my seminar, a seminar at all, and then message me. Let me know that I have a clientele. Otherwise, I'm going to stop trying to do seminars, because I've tried to do 3 now, and I have no interest, and it's bugging me. So anyways, back on to my next project. A samurai shield, okay? This is not to specs. Again, this is some cheap alternative to making the real deal thing, okay? I've used plastic board so it's very light and it has a flexibility to it in case someone rams into me or something during practice. You know, I'm not gonna get shield jammed into my face like I would on real battlefield, okay? It's gonna have some give and flex to it when people hit it with spears. It's gonna make things more realistic and kind of interesting when we practice with spears and bows and our shields and stuff like that anyways. Because I actually plan, within my Notori Ryu extension, if I get enough people involved for Christ's sake, I actually want to have archery tag. I want to make at least 5 or 6 of these PVC Yumi. Plus, I make bamboo bush bows for the kids if it's too strong poundage and they can't pull it back. I have a bunch of bamboo bush bows that I'm going to have made. I'm making them right now. I have about 6 bamboo bush bows made already. All I have to do now is just make a bunch of arrows with soft tips like this. Just put some pad, put some cloth over the pad and tie it or tape it onto your arrow. Put some glue or tape around the shaft so that way it sticks and won't slide off. And you have practice arrows that you can hit in the head. Just wear some goggles or something, and it's just like playing with BB guns, except for with bows and arrows. And you can play archery tag. I want to do a lot of that. I want to have a huge archery tag game one day, you know, but using actual like frontline versus frontline samurai warfare methods of conjunction shooting, shooting formations, 1 2 3 1 2 3, and then you have a wall, 1 2 3 1 2 3, wall of arrows, etc. Right? These are the kind of things that I want to go into, that we should be going into, and of course when the books come out for Notori Ryu, we will have official Notori Ryu information to structure ourselves off of when we do archery tag, etc. Right? So look forward to this, get involved with this shit, okay? Sorry to cuss, but I want the emphasis on that. So anyways, as well as making padded arrows and practice Yumi to do that with, I've been making shields. This is it's covered in leather. The back is covered in leather. I've kind of reversed effect. Is what I did is I took some of the instructions from some of the shields or described in areas such as In Search of the Ninja by Antony Cummins. My buddy Antony had that. That's very, very good book, In Search of Ninja. And there's a couple shields described. I just used some of the materials and the specs, and I also took the information from the shield, the descriptions of how these shields were made, with the pictures of shields that I've seen in woodblock, in scrolls, in texts, etc. Right? Information. What I've done is I've created a shield that I can at least hide behind, right? And I have at least 2 of these. I don't have one that stands by I only have one that stands by itself though. I've actually created a shield that actually has the stand. And you can actually put this, once you move forward with this, you move forward, you move forward, you move forward, you set it down, and you stand it up. And this is when the archery comes into play. This is when you take out your swords and you stick them in between the gaps of the shields. And again, hopefully the Notori Ryu information that comes out in the books will give us some tips and tricks on working with shields, around shields, getting past shields, how to tear them down with your spears. Take Yari, hook them, and get them out of the way so you can stab, so that way your fellow spearmen can stab the enemy, etc. Right? So yeah, this is the kind of stuff that I've been making and wanting to get into, but it's all just on, again, people. Get on board, get involved, come down, practice with me with this stuff, okay? And make your own. I want to see you make your own stuff, figure out how, why it works, etc. Okay? Alright, so yeah, there you go. There's shields, bows. Real quick, I want to show you how and where I shoot my arrows in archery. It's not a full-on range or anything. This is like, what? I got about 30-35 feet of distance to work with indoors. If I go outdoors, I have a field right behind my house, but I got to be real careful because people walk through it. I can't just go start shooting live arrows. That's when I have to use dull-tipped arrows, etc. So you know, I pretty much have to find an archery range around here or go out to the middle of nowhere to be able to full on practice full long shots as far as I can get them and stuff like that. So, but it's in the making up here. It's just a matter of people, come on down to Notori Ryuha Warfare Practice and get down and dirty with me. Alright, here we go. Alright, here we go. While the camera's still rolling, I wanted to prove to you the bush bows thing. See, I basically take a giant number of bamboo sticks, I cut them all to about 6 foot, 4 foot heights, and then I string them up with either 550 paracord or some jute twine, or again, one of my newest adventures. So these will all be bamboo bush bows. These are just to shoot at each other. They're low poundage, so that way we can shoot soft arrows at each other. They can hit my face, won't hurt. These are just all for fun right here. Throw those down. The PVC Yumi we'll use for, again, archery tag and for like practice and formations, and that's when we get into the more serious archery tricks and stuff like that. That's where I want the Yumi present, because the bamboo bush bows don't give the same shooting. They don't act like Yumi. So, you know, you have to have a Yumi something. You got to make something like it at least. This is not. If you look at the curves on this, I mean, it's really not. It's actually quite off to a real Yumi, but it still shoots. Like, I was looking at how it pulls and how it shoots the arrow, how it ups it. It kind of ups it like this. I don't know if there's a proper name for that, but the way it slides up like that is actually wanted. That's the way it should shoot. I don't know if that's Antony Cummins, buddy. If you're worrying about the arrow moving up as it shoots, as long as it doesn't shoot up like that and it shoots up but still shoots flat, that's okay. That's desired effect. So don't worry about that. If that's what you're talking about. I was kind of confused on what you're asking about the arrow sliding. I think that's what you're talking about, but yeah, so again, if your arrow, let me do that with an arrow instead of just my hand. Let me get the shield out of the way. Ugh. Move forward, move forward. Ah! All right. Shield's out of the way. Now again. Oh yeah. Right there, just what I was doing, I find to be the most important part of my archery, or what I need to get past, is finding the notch in the arrow and clicking it onto the string fast. To me, whatever way I pull it, whatever way I pull the arrow, however it may be, it's not that part that gets me. It's putting it onto the string as quick as possible. To me, is the most important part. See? It's wrong. It's fucked up. I need it like this. Okay? That's better. So what I do, I found a method. I find the very edge and I feel with my fingers. Everything is with my fingers. I don't look. Boom, boom. I feel it. I don't look. Again. Holding the bow, here's the arrow. The notch is right here. It needs to go over your bowstring, right? That's the part that everyone slows down on. They can be as quick as they want with this, the drawback, etc., right? It's that part that makes it quick or not. Is if you can easily get it onto that string and it's in the groove and everything, okay? Now this is definitely where I agree 100% with Antony Cummins, okay? I do not believe that when they train, when samurai, back in samurai time, trained for their archery, they didn't train slow, steady pace so that it's perfect every time. They would not do this. They would not. And then the sleeve, they spend like 5 minutes taking their sleeve off and folding it in, and then like this. Oh, it's got to be down here. That's the other reason Yumi bows are so tall up top, and you shoot more to the bottom, is because you're on ground level usually when you shoot. So if you hold it in the middle, your bow is hitting the ground, and you have to tilt it and cock it or hold it you know, crossbow style. Hence why the Yumi is so tall at the top and you shoot with the arrow more down here. Is you don't full on stretch back. The gentleman who showed how to make these PVC Yumi was making the same note, and this is very true. Is that if you look at Japanese archers in archery, when they practice all Zen-like, they just bring it up in the middle, and then they stretch it, but they don't stretch it. They just keep it right here at their eye. They don't stretch back any further. They don't go full blast. They go just to where they can aim, and it's just to the eye, right here. That's it. And then they shoot it. And again, I noticed that the Yumi naturally does this. I shouldn't do that. I'm cheating again. No looking. Boom. Find the notch. It's on the bow string. Good. Now, when it shoots, this is right in the middle. But if you bring it toward the end, yeah, see, it slides up. It slides up. See how it's crooked? It's okay if it slides a little bit. In other words, it starts here, or it starts here, goes down, and it goes like this. Just a little bit. It's not as much as I'm exaggerating. I'm exaggerating the motion now, but it's just barely. It just moves it up a little bit. I think that the Yumi does this, that the design of the Yumi, the Japanese bow, is meant to do that. Check it out. My bowstring. I made it too short though for my actual like PVC Yumi, but it works for my this thing. It works for this little cheap Walmart Little Souks bow. It's just a plastic cheap bow, but it's 60 pounds, I think. And yeah, it works for that. I'm gonna use it for that because I made it too short for my actual Yumi again. So, but nonetheless, I was actually working on bowstrings, how to make them. This one is like more Native American style than anything. It's actually just braided twine. I just braided twine. All I need to do now, I was actually going to wax it. I was going to dip it in wax and string it up, and, or you know, squeeze in the wax into the fibers and everything like that, and then form a little spot in the middle where the arrow won't slide up or down, you know, stuff like that. Actually try mixing a lot of archery knowledge into the Japanese ways of making their bowstrings, etc. Don't expect anything fancy. There's no sharp tip in this. It's an untipped arrow. So this is just to show that, you know, the PVC Yumi does work, it's effective, etc. Right? So here we go. I'm going to do it like judo style, you know. Here we go. Again, I can find that node without my eyes. Lift. Up in the middle, center, make sure our arrow is straight, right? Bada bing, bada boom. That's the whole point of doing it right here in front of you. So just like this, right? This is where you can make your adjustments. This is where you bring it right to our eyes and we shoot. And there it is. That's how I practice down here in the dojo. Every once in a while I'll come down here, maybe once a month or something, I'll shoot off a bunch of arrows. Now that I have this, I can practice with this. I've also heard a lot of talk about proper shooting from the different sides, okay? When you shoot on this side of the bow or this side of the bow. And in different cultures it changes, etc., right? And then I've also heard guys like my buddy Greg out there, he said that, you know, it matters if you're shooting off different sides of things. So if here's an obstacle, a tree, a wall, whatever, if you're shooting on, now this is where to me this might matter. If we're working behind shields and I'm shooting arrows from behind shields, this is going to matter to me, right? Because think about this. If it makes a difference at all, I don't know, I haven't really tried this, so I'm about to, and I want to come back to everyone on this. To me it doesn't. Because no matter what, I like to shoot on this side. I don't care if I'm shooting on this side of something, on this side of a tree, it don't matter. I always shoot the arrow on this side because it helps me keep the finger thing which people say not to do as well. I've had a lot of archery guys go, dude, never use your finger to guide. You're going to cut up your finger with a real bow one day. If you have archery gloves, you don't have to worry. In Japan, Japanese archery, it's almost mandatory that you have the glove. It's common sense. It's like, dude, you better wear a glove or else you're going to be messing up your finger while doing this. So there's a lot of details to archery that's a lot of give and take between cultures, the different bows, the style of archery. But again, we're supposed to be focusing on Japanese archery. I also have my cardboard basket arrow holder here. So, yeah, see, the longest part for me is that right there. So now, all right, here we go. So this is it. You open up your fan, right? You take your blinding powder and you put it onto the inside, onto the spines of the fan, like so. You put it all over and it's inside the fan, like this. So you see, you simply take your blinding powder and you sprinkle it onto the fan, folds. Okay. I think that's enough for example purposes. Now, so again, is what you do is simply fold it over. You have to individually fold this over and really make sure that the powder stays in there. I tried this a couple times before the video and wasted a bunch of battery life to make sure that it stays in there. So once you have this set, and I can just feel it. It's thick and it's heavy. All right. So there it is, right? So now, I'm a shinobi. I'm creeping about. Oh, hey, easy, back up, buddy. I don't want no trouble. Bam! And the whip open of that fan blasts all the powder into their face. It just like that. And that's when you can come in and bam, and just use your, Tessen Jutsu, So yeah, let me do that one more time real quick. Again, simply sprinkle your blinding powder onto the folds of the fan, carefully fold it up so that all the powder, mind you, I would be using, in reality, ground up dog livers and just nasty things that are pungent smelling and just that would actually put you to sleep, right? And again, you hold around your fan like this and blinding powder goes straight out. It just shoots straight out at the camera, at the face, whatever. Damn city noises interrupting me. Anyways, there it is. There is one blinding powder skill, and that is taken from this book here, Iga Koka Ninja Skills by Antony Cummins, all credit given. So yeah, again, always check out Antony's books, the Bansen Shukai Iga Koka Ninja Skills, and of course, my favorite, the Shoninki, which is a huge selection and part of Notori Ryu. So yeah, there you go, blinding powder implement. I'll do another one later. I'll do the Mudra Mist later. Hopefully I'll have Ivan or somebody with me to actually reenact that one out and have fun with. So there you go, enjoy that one. Try that again, please. Use flour, no talcum powders, no baby powders, no shit like that. Use flour. If you're actually gonna throw it in your own face, or if you're gonna be practicing with other people, or you know, you have kids around and you're showing them this fancy cool stuff, use flour. It really is the only thing that can just easily be washed out of the eyes. You're not going to have any kind of repercussions. It's not going to sting a lot. If it does sting, see my very first Ichigoni Chimi seminar. I had people throw this directly into my eyes. I wiped it off in 10 seconds, guys. It's no big deal. So there you are, Ichigoni Chimi, my fellow Ninja Shinobi and Notori Ryu members. Have fun with that, and take care. Till next time, JJ here. JJ out.